Lions fans, what's going on? It's your boy King, man. Listen, it's Members Only Monday. This is a new series that I'm doing on the channel. I want to give thanks to everyone who joined the channel. You guys get news and updates first every single week on Mondays. Everyone else get it Tuesday. But we got a lot to talk about. Dan Campbell gave his press conference today, a lot of injury updates, and we got to get prepared for week 4. Let's dig in.
Hey, King paying for gas.
All right, members. So listen, we got a lot to talk about, man. Watched the press conference with Dan Campbell. Gave some injury updates. Absolutely sucks. First and foremost, the news came out earlier about Davenport. We all know what's been going on with Davenport. He just has not been able to stay healthy. And unfortunately, that continues. He has an elbow injury that's going to pretty much have him out for the rest of the season. They're trying to get different, first, second and third opinions, but it's still looking that way. It's still looking like he's going to be out for the season, which absolutely sucks. A lot of us had high hopes with Davenport. He's extremely talented, but he just cannot stay available for some reason. I don't know exactly what this elbow injury is, but it's something that's going to take a significant amount of time. And it's very unfortunate for us because we don't need to be taking these type of blows. But then the reports just came out probably within 20 minutes ago. An even bigger blow to me. Frank Rangow is out. He's going to be week to week. He has a partially torn pec. We've seen this injury before with CJ Gardner-Johnson last season. It's week to week. They'll be evaluating him, but he's going to be out for a little bit of time. Fortunate that we're getting ready to play the Seahawks and go into the bye week and give some time for healing and, things like that. But those were the two biggest and most devastating. Barnes is also another one. Barnes is going to be out for a significant amount of time with his knee, which he also is getting other opinions on. So, yeah, that sucks, man. 3 guys that contribute to this team, obviously a big time starter and a captain of that offense in Frank Rangow. It's not what we need, but I'd rather it be now than towards the end of the season. I'd rather it be early in the season because we're going to need them. Excuse me. We're going to need them in that final stretch, once we get into the real meat and potatoes of that schedule, man, and make that push as we go in towards the playoffs. Once we start playing the division games and, everything else, we need those guys available. And, these injuries, sometimes they can be nagging injuries throughout the season. We've seen Frank Rangow pretty much have everything going on possible last season. He's a tough guy. So nothing in my mind, tells me that he won't be available in the latter part of the season when we need him. So that's the positive that I can bring out of it. Yeah, partially torn pec, man. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. The good news is that everyone else is pretty much day to day. Brian Branch is in protocol, but Dan Campbell said today he looked pretty good. So definitely trending upward for him to be available next game. But guys like Laporta and Arnold and all these guys, it's just ankles, little things here and there. They're day-to-day injuries, nothing serious. They just need to, be careful in practice. Don't try to re-aggravate anything, man. And, get through this week and get some rest and get healthy and get prepared so we can go into next game. Speaking of next game, against the Seahawks, right? Monday Night Football, huge game for us. We got to get over the hump. We got to beat the Seahawks. I'm tired of losing to the Seahawks. Well, that night just got even more electrifying. The Detroit Lions will be donning the brand new all-black Lions jersey. A lot of anticipation with this uniform. You know, it's been weeks now that everyone anticipated for this to happen on Monday Night Football, and it's official. They'll be playing in the new black uniforms. I can't wait to see it. I love those uniforms. I know the energy is going to be high from the players because they absolutely love those uniforms. But, you know, it's going to bring a certain type of energy, and that's that black Air Force One energy. If you don't know what that is, black Air Force One energy usually means, you know, grit times 10. You know what I'm saying? You're doing bad things. You're doing hood rat things with your friends. That's what it means. And it's going to bring that energy. And I can't wait to see it because you're going to need that against the Seahawks. You know, the Seahawks is a tough team. We all know this, right? So we're going to match that energy and multiply it. So can't wait to see those uniforms. Going to be big time. Monday can't get here fast enough. Another thing that I want to talk to you guys about, you know, on the dawn of the injury situation with this team, this is the reason why Brad Holmes built this roster the way that he did. Literal 69-man roster, you know, when you really look at it. And everyone is going to play a part and contribute to this team. These guys are ready to step in and show out. You know, we've been down offensive linemen before, and guys have moved over and stepped in and did just fine. I think we'll continue to be fine. But this is what the depth is for. You got to give that credit to Brad Holmes so he can withstand what happened to us in 2021. You know, in 2021, we faced the same type of situation. And for that season to be like that, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, they said to each other, we won't let this be a big part of our season again. And by going out and getting multiple guys to fill in these positions, and not just bodies, but they have the same mentality, they have the same hunger, and these guys can play. We've seen an absolute example of it yesterday. You know, Anzalone was out. Rodrigo stepped right in, played the jack. You know, Neiman played. He played well. Everybody stepped in. You know, everybody was ready to go. And that's just how this team is. I've said it before in the past. It is literally a next man up type of team. We're talking about the success we had. Remember the defense before we acquired these pieces. We're talking about guys that were off practice squads and everything else, and we got the max out of these guys. This coaching staff, they're ready and they're prepared for that. And Brad Holmes has done a great job going to get guys and filling these gaps and, you know, packing the depth on this team. And I think we'll be just fine. Another thing was brought up during the press conference, and that's Levi Onwuzurike. You know, 40 snaps for him. That's what it's been looking like on his workload. And, you know, the concern of his back started to come up about, you know, him having longevity over the season. But he's doing exercise and he's being very, you know, cautious about wear and tear on himself. And Dan Campbell believes that he'll be fine. You know, he's preparing himself. He's doing everything it takes to make sure that doesn't happen. And that was good to hear because that is a concern that was out in the community. We didn't want him to have, you know, too much and end up, you know, re-injuring something or having those issues as we get later in the season, because that's where we need everybody the most. So that was good to hear. Very good to hear. Got a lot of high hopes for Levi Onwuzurike. Want to see him out there. Want to see him available. Want to see him be successful. You know, so yeah. Speaking of you know, next week, next Monday, man, how can we attack this team? Well, obviously, we're gonna run the football. We don't care who your defensive line is. It's just something that you're gonna have to stop us. You know, we've seen what Montgomery and Gibbs did. You know, with them both, you know, being in the range of having 70 yards in these games. You know, this type of stuff hasn't been done since, you know, 2000 and maybe 18. You know, where you got multiple backs in their first 3 to 4 games, averaging about 70 yards apiece. You know what I'm saying? So Our Thunder and Lightning backfield is very, I mean, it's just different. You know, you get tired from Montgomery, and then you got a whole fresh start with Gibbs coming into the game. That strategy for a defense is a nightmare. You know, I've been dealing with this dude. This offensive line is running through us. I'm tired. I don't want to deal with a fresh Jahmyr Gibbs when he comes to the game. So that's why you see them going series for series, and it's a great strategy. It's a great plan from the coaching staff. I absolutely love it. I hope they keep it this way. Montgomery said that him and Gibbs, they have a competition with each other. I mean, everything. You know, I'm loving everything about it. But we're going to run the football. We're definitely going to run the football, and we're going to attack your secondary. You're not special. You're going to get the same treatment. So, like I said, when we dealing with them, with our defense, I just don't see them as the same team that we just faced or the previous teams that we faced. Yeah, they got Metcalf, you know, Lockett over there, but I think we'll be able to handle them just fine. We just got to make sure Geno don't go out there and look like an elite quarterback. Put that pressure on Geno, make him make bad decisions, do the same thing we did to Kyler Murray. The game plan needs to be the same with this quarterback. The running game is the interesting part because I haven't had a chance to check on Kenneth Walker and what the running back room looks like, if who's healthy and who's not. But, you know, the status of Len McNeil with his shoulder, is he going to be ready to play for Monday Night Football? I don't know. Well, this is where we want to see guys like Onwuzurike step up. Dan Campbell said that Pascal will be stepping up in the place of Davenport. Don't know what the situation is with James Houston. He's inactive. Nobody says anything. I don't know anything about it. What happened? Whatever. Whoever is in the game, we just got to make sure that they don't run the football on us. With the Detroit Lions, nobody runs the football on us. So that's pretty much what it's going to take to beat this team. That's just it. We got to control that offense because Geno is looking better than he should have last game. Control that offense, man. You know, keep them from scoring a high amount of points. But at the same time, our defense, I know they're going to lock in and do what they got to do. So I'm totally confident we can finally get over the hump with the Seahawks team. Not saying it's going to be an easy victory. It's definitely not. But I think we're going to come out on top finally this time. So with that said, that's the news and updates. It is Members Monday. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for becoming a member of this channel. And to everyone who sees this video the previous day, I appreciate you just as well. I know everybody's situation is different. But for you guys that have contributed to the company, to the channel, it helps me out a lot. It helps me out a lot. You guys, you know, are the stepping stones that I need to become a full-time YouTuber. And that's the goal. So with that said, appreciate you guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.